America's band. Hello everyone, Tony here once again after God knows how much time, but hey, we're back. Welcome to the first episode of Talking with Tony, which basically consists of me recording a vlog, having a drink. Right now we're having Macallan 12. Cheers guys. And I want to share something with you. This time is very special because I wanted to talk to you about the time that I attended the show of my favorite band, which is, you guessed it, Polyphia. And I have to say that I had a really good experience because that's my favorite band, and I purchased the VIP. Matter of fact, hold on a second. Check this out. I had the honor and the privilege to attend on April the 13th in the beautiful city of Austin, Texas. And I'm gonna tell you basically how everything was. But first, quoting one of my favorite tech reviewers, Flossy Carter, this is not a little kid video. So if you have little kids, put them out of the room. We're gonna be drinking, we're gonna be cursing, we're gonna be talking shit. You know how it goes. So there's no turning back now. Anyway, as you saw, I purchased a VIP package which included, this laminate, a beautiful poster, and a picture with the guys, a meet and greet, and the sound check. Everything was extremely nice, but let's go for parts. We're in the queue, and then it's my turn. I go there, show my ID so I can drink alcohol. See a bunch of guys in front of me talking about PlayStation games, and of course I had to join the conversation, and we became concert buddies. So now it's the time for the sound check, and before starting the sound check, actually, a guy came out, and so he said, no pictures, no videos, no phones, basically. So we had to respect that. They said because they want to keep the experience very special. That's completely understandable. But yeah, if I'm not mistaken, in the sound check they played Genesis, The Audacity, Reverie, and All Falls Apart. I might be forgetting something, but it was pretty fucking good. Everything sounded perfect. So after the sound check comes the time for the Q&A session, and it was pretty interesting because, for instance, someone asked all the guys which language they would like to speak, and I think Tim and Clay Gover said Japanese because they go to Japan, which sadly the Japanese word could not be, because you already have the news, and if not, boom, there it is, because they like to go there, and the language is pretty special, but it's very difficult. I've tried to learn it because #anime fan, and I can barely read hiragana and katakana. And Clay Ashman said German, and Scotty said Spanish because since he lives in Texas, he has to deal with a lot of Mexicans. And the whole time I was thinking like, hey Scotty, I could be your teacher, just hook me up, dude. But of course I didn't have the balls to ask anything because I was so nervous, because that's huge for me. They're gods for me. It comes the time for the picture with the band, which, boom, there it is. So after the picture, I go to the merch store and I got this beautiful shirt, which is exclusive on the live shows. And after that, I grab a beer. Hold on a second again. Of course, I wasn't prepared. So the first one that I had was this thing. Paradiso with 6.66 alcohol by volume. And the second one that I got is Inferno with 7.777 alcohol by volume. So those two beers were enough to get me hammered. Like, let's say, I don't know what your drink of choice is. Mine, of course, is whiskey. Single malt preferably, but it doesn't matter. Let's say if I had like 5 of these, it's the equivalent with those two, and it's beer. You drink it way more easily than this if you're not a whiskey drinker. We got all the stuff. We had the fucking huge poster, like laminate, and I didn't know where to put it. And these cans were limited edition because they made a collab with a local brewery. And of course I had to put it somewhere, but I didn't have my car. My father dropped me there. And shout out to my buddy Joel, one of the guys that I met there. He offered his car for, you know, living all the stuff. And yeah, basically that was how I got to keep the cans. After that, things got very suspicious because I finished first Paradiso and I was feeling a little bit dizzy. But then I noticed that my buddy Joel was vaping. But it was not a regular vape. It was a different kind of vape.
Marijuana products and marijuana accessories.
I smelled that particular scent and I was like, is that what I think it is? And he said, of course, you want to have a hit? And I was like, yeah, give me that. So I usually don't even drink when I attend live shows, never ever. But for some reason, destiny, fate, whatever the f you want, I was feeling very good with the f***ing first beer, which by the way, they taste amazing. I think the only time prior to this live show that I have had a beer was when I saw Slayer on their final tour. With Amon Amarth. And Cannibal Corpse. And Lamb of God. Yeah, those four giants of metal. So I hit the thing. I mean, I had a really good trip, but enough of the bull. Here comes the live show. Unprocessed comes out. I had to admit something. I knew, of course, who Manuel was, but I was never really curious to see or listen to the music of Unprocessed. That's when I mean, once being at the live show, that's where I realized that I made a huge mistake because they sounded really, really good. The energy that they put on stage is amazing. The sound was pretty ridiculous. If you're a follower of Manuel, you probably saw that beautiful golden Ibanez 8-string guitar, and he brought out that one on tour, and I was like, oh my god, I thought that was unreal. And believe me, with all the equipment that he has, it looks beautiful. In person, my man, that's another f***ing story. Yeah, they can replace it, but personally I wouldn't do so even if I had an endorsement. Anyway, that's my point of view. My favorite songs that I remember that they played live, of course, that I had to Google it afterwards, was Orange Grove. Rain. Abandoned. And the one that hit me the most in the very end was Heaven. My god, those 8-string riffs were amazing. And the crowd was amazing as well. The whole time they were like jumping and doing all that kind of crazy stuff. pretty impressed. I was pretty impressed with Unprocessed. Really amazing that every single one of them put on stage. I was like, what the? I had to admit something. I was with a what the face when I saw John Levi's bass guitar, the headless one, the green, and I was like, what the is that? Of course that I knew that headless guitars and basses exist, but I never saw one in person, not even in guitar stores. Anyway, they finished, and then the lights go off completely. Everyone is screaming their lungs out. Then we hear a backing track of Genesis. I already knew which setlist they were playing. No surprises for me. I like to spoil myself in that kind of thing, so I can be prepared if I tend to forget something, in case that I forget something. Listen to it again, and yeah, of course they started with Genesis. And as soon as they came out to the stage, everybody was screaming and shouting, and everyone was going crazy. And I'm drunk and I'm high as but in a good way, in a good fucking way. It's like if I saw both live shows in not 4K, like 112 billion K. Everything felt and sounded great, but that's just me. Then the second track was Neurotica. It was fucking amazing. I never thought those guitars could sound that good live. Everyone's playing was on point, just like this whiskey. Next, OD. I went crazy. I went crazy because, I mean, if you are a follower of Polyphia, which you may not be and you're still watching this video, thank you so much. OD is just madness and all instruments. Pretty much all Polyphia songs are incredibly difficult, even if you have 10 years practicing your instrument. But OD, it's an OD of virtuoso thing in all instruments, and I felt like, I mean, my whole brain was during both shows. So next, one of my favorites from my favorite Polyphia album, Goose.
This guy's fucking crazy.
It was such a fucking joy to hear that riff. I was about to cry when I heard that fucking main riff. So yeah, speechless. I was speechless, and I'm still speechless, God knows how many times after the show. But yeah, I'm trying my best. Next, 40 ounce. Oh my god. Yo, that's something huge. I mean, it's also from the most hated, and if you haven't noticed yet, after 40 ounce, my favorite all-timer Polyphia's song, Iconic. Once again, from their most hated EP, and that's when I started going really crazy, even if I was drunk and high at the same time. I was crossfaded as but somehow I still managed to enjoy the whole show. Tapping riffs, the chorus, the ending, everything was, I mean, I saw my favorite band playing my favorite song live. Me in that state of mind, that was just fucking incredible, I have to admit. Next, an oldie, Champagne, when Scott was playing the main riff. I mean, he said, let's play a game called Sing the Riff or something like that. And he started to go. And we had to go na 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 na. That was fucking ridiculous. Oh my god, it was really fucking good. And watching Tim playing Nick Johnston's solo for that song was something that I never thought I could experience live, and it was fucking shocking how much of a muscle memory all of them have. Of course, they practice God knows how many fucking hours a day, but it was really mind-blowing. Then they played All Falls Apart. The multi-voicer sounded, oh my god, incredible. But what sounded even more incredible than that, nothing more incredible than iconic, was Drown. And once again, when Tim played Mateus Sato's solo, it was incredible how smooth he plays it, the double stops and all that kind of shit. My god, I remember something very clearly. They had a little bit more of overdrive during that song compared to the original recording, but whatever, they sounded incredible. That's just a comment, it's not a critic or something. And then everything calms down and they played the worst. Again, hearing that riff live was mind-blowing. How many times have I said that it's either amazing or mind-blowing, whatever. I remember especially during that song, everyone was like jumping and singing and doing all that kind of crazy shit. Then they break out the 8 strings and they play Reverie. And once again, just like I was amazed with Manuel's golden 8-string Ibanez, I was amazed with the 8-string version of the TH-BB10. Sadly, that one will never see the light of production, but at least I got to see it live once. Now, I remember very vividly, it sounded like so girthy and very beautiful, just like in the next song, which was The Audacity. So I listened a couple of songs twice that day. What an honor and privilege. But after those 2 songs of their latest album, at least to this date, which is Remember That You Will Die. Matter of fact, during the Q&A round of questions, a guy said that he plays the drums and he was going to play The Audacity in a live show, and he asked Clay for tips for the drum solo, and he said that the trickiest part of the drum solo was the split singles, and that the original solo that he wrote for that song was 5 times harder than the one in the recording. And I was like, I mean, I know he can play much better than that, but that's like amazing enough. How can you multiply that by 5? What are you, a drummer Super Saiyan? Yes, you are. Everything calms once again, and they break out the acoustics or the nylon, whatever, and they playing God. My God, what can I say? What can I say that I haven't said before about the show? They sounded amazing. I was completely mind-fucked when I heard that live. One more comment during that song, particularly. I don't know if it was because I was very close to the PA, but they sounded like if it wasn't nylon. It sounded more like if it was a steel string guitar. But whatever, it might be where I was, but yeah, fantastic, amazing. Everybody was jumping, even though everyone was tired already since we started to go crazy with Unprocessed. I respect the energy of the crowd, and I was part of the crowd, of course. I cannot imagine how the guys felt watching all of us jumping and going crazy and raising their hands and screaming, shouting, and going fucking insane. Now it comes the encore on, and they play Goat. To be honest with you, that's the song that hooked me with Polyphia in the first place. No, I'm not gonna say that I'm an OG fan and I was following them since they released their first EP back in 2000 and fucking whatever. But hearing the song that hooked you to a band live, it's just a beautiful experience. If you have experienced that once, you know it's fucking incredible. After Go, they played a cover, which I don't even remember the name of the song, so I cannot say anything. But the final song that they played that night was Euphoria, and I love that song. It's very emotional, it's very melodic, it has a lot of feeling. A lot of people say that Polyphia, well, the haters mainly, they say that Polyphia's songs, they lack of feel and soul, which in my opinion is not true, matter of taste, whatever. But I was this fucking close to join the mosh pit, but I still had in my hand this and then of course I didn't want it to ruin it, so I didn't join it, but I was jumping like crazy. My legs ended up crushed, like if I went beast mode in the gym doing legs. But I really wanted to cry in that song because I have cried listening to that song many times, and I thought, I'm going to cry. It's not an option. It's not even an option. It's not even a question. I'm gonna cry, and I didn't. For some reason I didn't. And I really hope that if you have the chance to go see Polyphia live, please go. You're not gonna be disappointed. And that's pretty much how it ended, with the beautiful song of Euphoria. So after that, I stayed with the guys in the parking lot talking about how fucking insane the show was. And yeah, I just picked up my stuff and went home, basically. So that's basically all I wanted to share with you guys. And if you have the chance to see not only Polyphia but your favorite band live, please go. You're not gonna be disappointed. And I share this with you mainly because a lot of people are a fan of Polyphia, and due to the country that they live, Polyphia might not tour in there, which it's very sad, to be honest. But I just wanted to transmit a little bit of what I lived there, because it was not, trust me in something. I'm not saying this because Polyphia is my favorite band, but that was the best live show that I've ever attended to this date. Put out that Polyphia is my favorite band, but the sound was incredible. The VIP was nuts, and the crowd was insane as well, because I've attended live shows where the artist is just playing the shit out of their instrument, and the crowd is like, what the fuck? Give the artist some fucking feedback, you fucking douchebag. Why did you pay your ticket in the first place if you're just gonna be like, Whatever, I'm not gonna judge. Yes, of course I will. Finish my drink. Here's where also the video ends. So, if you made it this far, thank you so much for joining me in this first episode of Talking with Tony. And I really hope to see you very, very soon. Sayonara.